Hello and welcome to Off Record, the show that brings the classics of the past into the modern era exclusive for you. We have a fabulous show for you tonight. I'm your host, Jack Twynham. Coming up on the show, we have an insightful look into the power of music and how music therapy can enrich the lives of those affected by dementia. Also, we'll be taking a look at the buskers and their place in society. Are they a social nuisance or is their work an art form? We're also joined in the studio by Kyle and Nat. How are you guys?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good, great. First up, let's take a look at the heartwarming effects of an unusual type of singing group.
With a population growing ever older in the UK, dementia and other degenerative conditions are becoming more common. Age UK uses music as a form of therapy in its day centres, helping to relieve symptoms and comfort relatives. Alex McNeese is one of the community musicians that visits every week, using melodies to stimulate memories.
I tend to go into places and run sessions using songs that they've sung when they were young and songs they know before to elicit memories and elicit emotions through their past. Music's incredibly beneficial as a form of therapy. People laugh, people smile, people can increase in physical well-being through breathing and through exercise, but I tend to focus more on the emotional well-being, using memories, using anything to elicit some sort of emotional response, by laughing, by crying, and just by being happy. If you can increase the social well-being and bringing people together, then people's lives are improved by the fact that they are singing with other people and doing a jointly enjoyable experience.
Dr Trish Vella-Burrows is the music practitioner at Age UK.
In essence, it looks as though we're having a huge amount of fun, but every single activity, such as the beanbag passing, links our participants with one another. And we see some astonishing things where people who apparently can't respond in a certain way just do through music. And we see some beautiful communication responses from people who apparently are fairly lost to the world.
Jeff Grabham started attending the group with his wife Jackie, who sadly passed away 2 months ago. He remembers how music would stimulate her imagination.
You could tell she got things out of. I could tell by her eyes, and also, come the end, we did get her starting to sing. I would sing. There was one little song, "I'll Buy a Teapot Big Enough for Two," which seemed to catch her imagination. And when I used to shower her every morning and that, I would sing the song, leave off the last word. And after, I suppose, most probably 2 years or more, she started saying those words.
Despite his loss, Jeff remains committed to the music group.
To see their faces light up and the smiles come across and they start to laugh, you know, that's the reward sort of thing.
Doesn't that just show that music has a powerful effect on so many? So Kyla, haven't you been involved with music therapy? Can you tell us a bit about that?
I have. So I run a music festival, and the charity that we support are a music therapy charity. It's amazing when you watch them actually during a therapy session. Some of these people that give you no response whatsoever were fully involved in playing all these different instruments, or even they were just they just seemed so engaged in it. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
I think music has a lot more to it than just the entertainment value.
But how did you actually get into music? Where was the starting point for you two?
Well, our parents are both musicians, so we didn't really have a choice.
Music has just been around us for our whole lives. We've always loved it. We've always sung.
If anything, Mum and Dad probably
don't become musicians. There's no money in it. Don't do it.
So you're not only just sisters, you're twin sisters. What's that like working together?
We know each other so well, and that helps with we know what each other are going to do vocally, and people come up to us after gigs and they're like, oh, your harmonies, you're so in sync, and that's come with singing together for our entire lives.
Yeah.
We just know each other, and we know each other's voices.
Who are your major influences? Would you be able to name a couple?
Dolly Parton.
Yeah. We love Dolly Parton
so
her.
much.
So do you think that the older music could be brought back to current day, and do you think the younger generation would accept it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
We think it's really important that the younger generations who might be exposed to, let's say, more commercial and not as
good.
Yeah, music
Good
needs
music.
to be aware of all the old stuff, the classics and the Supremes and Stevie Wonder and all that stuff.
Next up, we're heading to the streets of Canterbury, one of the liveliest cities for music in the UK, with a rich busking scene.
Walk down any high street in the UK and it's more than likely you'll hear a busker performing. Whilst busking is legal and common practice in Britain, this undervalued art form can fade into the background as people walk past. But if you stop and listen, there's a world of talent and creativity to be heard. Up-and-coming singer-songwriter Ella Morgan moved to the UK from New Zealand.
I first took interest in guitar when I was about 11. I started busking when I was 14 because I was sort of a rebellious teen that wanted to make some money. Oh, Emily, you're telling me. Oh, yeah. I think busking is a good way to expose yourself as a musician. Not everyone gets the opportunity to hear live music, and people quite often pass by and say, "Oh, you've made my day," or "Keep at it." Don't you say it. I will probably do it for a lot of my life, but it would be nice to just like get gigs and not stand out in the cold all the time.
Busking has become a major part of our society. We asked people what they thought about busking.
I love it, and I think there's so many fantastic singers and musicians that we don't even care about.
Buskers are perfectly good. I think it's traditional. It's happened for hundreds of years in Canterbury.
They can be a pain, but they can also be a great art, particularly in a city like this where you've got music courses at universities.
Sometimes you'll hear people and listen to music that you wouldn't listen to normally.
And I do know, I think a local band here has actually been spotted.
One busker that has hit the big time is Jamie Smith, who met his band Coco and the Butterfields through the busking circuit. He's gone from his career in a call centre to a career in music.
I run events like this one, the Open Mic Night. I run bigger events. I teach kids to beatbox. So I go and do speech therapy workshops, and I do school workshops in colleges and prisons. And then I'm obviously in the band as well, and the band's full time, so we gig about 4 or 5 times a week as well. The beauty of busking is that you're entertaining people that weren't expected to be entertained. In a world of very much grey, there's very little colour, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? And I think busking's a nice little splash of colour.
Nat, what do you think busking adds to society?
Busking is a difficult one because Kyla's sometimes said, like, do you fancy going out on the street? Like, do you want to busk? Because she's always up for it, and she has done.
Yeah.
And for me, personally, I don't love the idea of doing it myself. However, watching it and like walking down the street and seeing someone amazing on the street is something that we'll always stop and listen to, and we'll always, as like fellow musicians, you understand that even for someone to just stop and take notice of you, rather than, not even if they pay you money, like just listening to your music is so important.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for coming into the show, girls. Now, I've been really looking forward to this. Kyla and Nat are going to be performing their rendition of one of my all-time favourites. It's a perfect example of modernised classic ABBA, Lay All Your Love on Me.
I wasn't jealous before we met. Now every girl that I see is a potential threat. And I'm possessive, it isn't nice. You've heard me saying that smoking was my only vice. But now it isn't true. Now everything is new. And all I've learned has overturned. I beg of you, don't go wasting your emotion. Lay all your love on me. Don't go sharing your devotion. Lay all your love on me. It was like shooting a sitting duck, a little small talk, a smile, and baby, I was stuck. I still don't know what you've done to me. A grown-up woman should never fall so easily. I feel a kind of fear when I don't have you near. Unsatisfied, I skip my pride, I beg you dear, don't go wasting your emotion. Lay all your love on me. Don't go sharing your devotion. Lay all your love. Won't you lay all your love on me? On me.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Coming up next week, we have an interesting piece on the ukulele and its return to the charts. We also have a performance from Coco and the Butterfields. I've been Jack Twynham, this has been Off Record. Thank you and good night.